Hello, this is Lars from wartable.online, and I want to say thank you for everyone who's been checking it out and giving feedback. One of the areas that I've heard a lot is people want to be able to do really precise measurements and have that be as quick and easy as some of the other things are in Wartable. So I wanted to walk through a couple of the widget updates that I've added, and hopefully this will make some of this stuff even quicker and easier. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is line of sight. So if you have a line of sight check that you're doing in kind of a typical case, like let's check if this Ravagore has line of sight to Zuriel. The quick and easy way is to just drag your model like this, and you can see here because this edge of the path passes through the building, I don't have line of sight. So in kind of your typical case, that's how I'd recommend doing it. If you're in the middle of a move, say, you can always make a copy of your model to check without disrupting that movement, etc. So I think that's kind of the in the typical case. That's what I'd recommend for the quick one. But if you want to do a really precise measurement of line of sight, I'm introducing the laser widget that you can use as well. So what this is going to do, so let's check and see if this Ravagore has line of sight to that. Sorry, I think that's, what is that again? A repenter up there. So I'm going to position this end right on the edge of my base to make sure, and ideally make sure it's touching. And then I'm going to go up here and see if I can find a line that passes through the Redeemer's base without passing through that forest. So let's try to be as careful as we can here, just really get it right in there. So you can tell this one is really close. But here, for example, let's just walk through this whole line and just check. So here I can tell that line is not touching the forest, and actually I have a little bit of wiggle room here on this other base as well. I could probably even wiggle this out a little bit more and still be connecting to that base. So you can see here that this line is not passing through the forest, it's not passing through the building, it is touching this Ravagore's base. So again, for good communication with your opponent, hopefully using this laser widget can really help you get an absolute answer on whether you have line of sight. And if you need a longer laser, you can increase the size of this. Yeah, so I hope that will help in that kind of case. So the second thing that I know that I've heard some people find challenging is when you're deviating at max range. So in this case, the Ravagore has a range 14. He's out of range, but I'm shooting a Scather at this Repenter again. So the way I'd recommend doing that is using the aura feature. So I'm going to put an aura around, so this gives me a ring at 14 inches. And again, I'm going to use that laser widget. This time I'm going to keep it centered on the Ravagore. And then I'm just going to draw a line to the middle of this Repenter here. So this is going to give me the precise location of my, where the intersection here is going to be where my deviation is going to occur. So you'll notice I'm selecting this model. When you're adding widgets, if you select a model, it will place them on the center. So if I was doing a deviation in range, I could do that to place my deviation template exactly on top of that model. Okay, so I'm placing my deviation template centered on that point. I'm going to take this over here and line it up with my laser. And the second thing I wanted to highlight that I've added is the ability to press a button here to get a precise deviation. So if I want to deviate my AOE, I can type in a max distance like 4.2 if I want, and then I get a deviation. So that shows me where my Scather has landed. Next thing I wanted to show, a couple things that people have asked for with these cloud templates are the ability to label them. So it would be nice, so I can identify this as a Scather and kind of give it a color to easily identify what it is. One other thing people have asked for is the ability to pin. So actually, when you do a scatter like that, I automatically pin these because in general I think they probably shouldn't move. If you add these through the widget menu, then by default they would be able to move, but you can make them movable or immovable by pinning or unpinning them up here. So the next thing that some people have asked for as well is when you're setting up a cloud wall, sometimes you want to say that this was a cloud. Easily be able to set up a cloud wall by just copying those, and it kind of places it next to it. So if you want to set up multiple of the same cloud effect, you can do that. And all these same things are going to apply to wall templates as well. All right, the last update that I wanted to show was this is a simple thing, but I added this the ability to add tokens that is just just a simple widget, basically a text widget. So this is going to be good. I think I would recommend using this for effects that are applied to a whole unit or important effects like popping your feet. So if you want to just if you have a feat that stays active for a round, you can use a token like a token widget like this just to throw out a really clear indicator. Or if you have a defender's ward up on a unit, you can just indicate that with a big token. So I recommend using the token system on the model for things that should stay with that model. So I think something like fire is really great to use this system of tokens that are attached to a model. But I think that this type of token system, I have a large and a small size, could be helpful for just effects that apply to a whole unit. So if you wanted to, you could indicate that your whole unit has vengeance triggered with a token like that. This is not an update, but just as a reminder, if you're using sprays, so if you select that model and add a spray template, that is going to be attached to that model so that you can really easily line up your sprays really precisely. So yeah, I hope that this update is helpful for everyone. And so yeah, and I want to take a minute to thank all my Patreons. Really appreciate the people who have sponsored Wartable on Patreon. It's been really helping us keep up as more and more people have been checking it out. So thank you, and thanks again for everyone who's played and provided feedback. And yeah, thanks.